Hey, let's get here, and it's time to talk about Mushoku Tensei. While it's so hot, I'm probably gonna burst into flames over here. So, yeah. But anyway, this episode I actually really liked because this just shows the importance of closure, talking, communicating, and having a nice, calm discussion after what happened between Rudy and Sara here, and also things to come. I really liked the later half of the episode, also setting up quite a lot of very interesting things. But also still staying on theme, I'm very worried when the other shoe is going to drop, because these episodes have been very character focused, the slice of life, family moments and things like this. I feel like something is bound to happen. But anyway, let's get into this episode and talk about it there. Now, I really liked Rudy playing with Lucy. She's very cute. I was surprised to see Suzanne being the wet nurse there, back from Counter Arrow, the party here. She was there helping there. But also, I liked the conversation between her and Rudy, kind of her helping him slowly just to try and talk a bit with Sara while he asked about her. She's still adventuring. Suzanne married with Timothy here, but the important thing, Zenith is showing more and more signs of recovering or something happening. She kind of sensed that Lucy was hungry, or at least that's what Rudy assumed there. I really hope so, man. I wanna see Zenith just be back. Just let me have this this win after everything that happened. I know the family is in a very good place now, and maybe I'm greedy, but I just want Zenith to be back, and hopefully you're going to have that, because this is showing signs of hope. Just don't let it be false hope and a bait with Zenith. We're gonna have to see. After this, we have Rudy and Roxy on a job to guard the princess of Ranoa on her journey to visit the country. They're her coming of age kind of tradition here. Ariel is going to join, which means Sylphie is gonna be here. And probably setting up things between the connections between the princesses here. Grace, the guard for the Ranoa princess, kind of an asshole, like instantly. New people, who are you? Then even the tonality there, but be a bit more calm, Grace. I know you're a guard and you should keep her safe, but calm. And I like Sylphie being there also. And then we get to see Sara and her party are here, and I liked kind of a bit of a callback. She was kind of performing the role Suzanne had for her, giving pointers and things to Alisa. I think was the name of the girl. Yes, Alisa. That hey, you should be able to work with different kinds of people. Kind of the lesson she got from Suzanne when we got first introduced to Sara and Counter Arrow. Just showing things carry over and so on, and the reactions, both of their faces when they saw each other, the shock. But no time to catch up. They had to be on the job there. I like how Roxy was the one that was getting attention this time, and Rudy being proud of it with her magic and everything, and her reputation for clearing the labyrinth here. Everybody doing their job there, and Sara, I like that she was the one that wanted to talk to Rudy, but he was the one that was avoiding her, kind of falling back in old habits, avoiding emotional and things, awkward conversations and things like that. And like how Luke, Ariel, and Sylphie wanted for them to resolve this, especially Sylphie here. And I have to give so much credit to Sylphie. She's probably one of the most emotionally mature characters that we have in the series so far. She's very calm. She accepts a lot of things. She's understanding, and of course, she definitely has also her limit. We're gonna get into that. But Sylphie is such an angel. It's insane there. But back to everything that is happening. I like how Ariel set up for them to go and talk it out. Even had Sylphie going in, and Sylphie's like, no, they can go alone. The pretext for going after a fruit. And her, when she said, have trust, he's not gonna run away, and makes Rudy realize he has been running away from this conversation there, and they finally go alone to talk, a bit of small talk, gets awkward, and slowly they open up to each other, catching up what they've been doing. Rudy with his life, Sara with her adventures and parties there slowly, and Rudy finally says sorry, and she runs away saying she didn't want an apology. They're a bit tsundere. He goes after her, and I really appreciated the calmness in his voice. Even she commented on this. Goes to her, apologizes properly, and she still says she doesn't want it. They talk about Sylphie, Roxy here, and Sara finally opens up saying she also wanted to apologize because at some point she found out he was sick, and she apologized. But like I said back when I did that video also, let me break away a bit from this episode. That entire situation between them, Rudy was in a really bad place. She wasn't mature enough to handle this situation. Her first crush, she thought it was about herself, her getting rejected there. She thought he wasn't into her, which kind of technically she was right, but not in the way she thought there, because Rudy just wanted the rebound, somebody to get over Eris, everything that happened. He was in a really dark place. So the entire situation was messy. Both of them said things and did things they didn't mean and didn't want the situation to turn like that, and they parted ways in bad terms. But here, that's why communication is very important, and very few series do it like this. And in real life, emotions run wild and things like that. You should calm down and talk, but it's easier said than done. When you're in the heat of the moment, you don't have that clarity of the mind to handle situations like this. And this is why I really like closures and people talking things out here, and I'm so happy we have this, and kind of sets up what's going to happen with Eris. I'm really curious how that is going to go. We're gonna talk a bit more about that towards the end of the episode here, and them having this proper conversation, both of them calm, collected there. Even he gets a bit teased over the two wives, and he realizes how much Roxy and Sylphie helped him, and that they're special, and the differences between them and other women is that he loves them, he cares about them quite a lot. So Sara actually helped him with this conversation here a bit there, and realizing that love is actually important, not just the sexual attraction that he has been having ever since he got reincarnated here, and realizing they weren't good for each other, wasn't the right moment, they had other things here, and just her said it perfectly, treat me like an old comrade. So they got over it. Of course, I'm speeding through a bit. The episode was great, the conversation, the realizations for both of them here was awesome, and I do wish more series would have things like that. Not just about romance, a lot of misunderstandings and bad communication, bad dialogue, bad writing. I would like more series, and that's why I'm not really a fan when romance is the main purpose of a series. Here we have characters and their lives, and romance is just a part of it. That's why it's really good. When it's just the main purpose, I'm not gonna go into why I don't like romance, just wasting time over hand-holding, misunderstandings, and blah 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 blah. That's another thing. But here it was great to have this closure there, and then back to the mission with the fight. Alicia instantly wanting Roxy to teach her magic and so on there, and Sara tells him a very important thing to keep in mind to Rudy: don't compare your wives, which is very very true. That could bring a lot of problems here. And still out on the road back after the mission here, you see Sylphie in the background, even before the scene, just looking at Rudy a bit worried and having things on her mind, and he knows how Rudy is, asking him, you really should you have let her go? Maybe you wanted more from her. And he actually says, no, I didn't really like her, I was just confused. There are a lot of things going back then here, and them asking him, what kind of girls do you like? And girls that help him when I'm in a bad place, and that's why you guys are special. Both of you are special. And I wanted to slap him after this, and he's like, don't worry, Sylphie, I'm not gonna be marrying any more wives, any other woman. I'm like, bro, come on, come on. But we know he's still in the mindset that he's not gonna get with Eris. We know. If you don't know this, you're too dense. I'm sorry to tell you this. This has been set up since the beginning of the series. I feel like I have to say it every episode there, but I just wanted to slap him from for the promise there. And I'm not talking about spoilers. I haven't read ahead. This is just obvious here. And Sylphie is just too good. She says if there's someone special, I don't have a problem with it. He just like she ditched me in his head, and I really like him realizing and remembering. And this also the conversation with Sara. That's why I said it's setting up future things. What Rudy told him, talk it out. There's some misunderstanding, something. We know what happened, but the situation was still messy. Eris really hurt Rudy, even though she didn't intend to do it. Like, I'm really excited to see how this is gonna get resolved and what's the dynamic going to be between them, between everybody else. We see how much, even in the beginning of the series and even before this season, how much Eris has put Rudius on this pedestal, how the trauma with seeing him die affected her, also her inferiority complex. That's why she left. She didn't think was good enough to stand by his side. There's a lot of things that we're gonna delve deeper when they finally reunite. I'm really excited for that when it's going to happen. But yeah, Sylphie is great here. And like I said, she also has her limits here, telling him. But after he said the promise here, instantly like, whoa, well, I might break it. I can't be certain, but I might be breaking my promise. And Sylphie's like, bring her to me first. I don't want you to go behind my back, coming home with a child, even I have my lips. And yes, Sylphie says, that's great. She's definitely the most mature person out of everybody that we have seen so far in the series here, and that's awesome here. She's kind of like the grounding thing for a lot of characters, especially in the Grey Rat family here. And I think people mistake her kindness for weakness, but that's not how I see her. A lot more people should be like Sylphie, understanding up to a point. That doesn't mean you should let yourself be walked over and let other people take advantage of you. But that doesn't mean you should snap at people and things like that. That's why I really like Sylphie quite a lot. But it's gonna be interesting when we're gonna have Eris and how it's gonna fit into the entire dynamic and everything. But after this, I was like, okay, so the episode is probably gonna end here. I didn't expect this last scene to see a bit more with Eris, Nina, Galfarian talking about the ranks, Sword King, Sword Emperor, Sword Guard, and things like that. He poses the question, what's the difference between them here? And Nina says desire, and he's like, okay, you say desire. And I didn't expect Gino to be there, like the guy that got beaten when Eris went to the dojo there, to the school. And Galfarian is like, okay, you said desire, I'm gonna give you a choice. Would you marry Gino, or would you want to become a Sword King? What's the greater desire? I'm like, okay, so they're getting together there. Romance between them. Remember, there's quite a lot of time being passed between these, quite a few years since Eris has been at the school. And she's like, Sword King. So poor guy is like, oh, I'm curious what would have went through his mind when she said Sword King here. And after this, Eris says resolved, and I really liked her answer, but mainly how she said after this, because Galfarian is like, resolve, really? Are you sure about that? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's resolved. And she's like, titles don't matter. I don't care what people call me. I just want to become strong. And I really like this. Titles are meaningless if you don't actually have the power, the strength for it. And he's like, okay, go fight it out. When you have Eris versus Nina, who's going to win is going to become a Sword King. And Eris wins here. Nina does land a blow on her arm, but she gets slammed back very hard. And Galfarian's like, keep focusing. You have room to grow, to improve. She gets very frustrated, which is understandable for Nina. I do want to see more of Nina. I really like her character, and Isolde also. I'm curious what's with Isolde, how she's gonna be with the other school, the water god thing here. But yeah, Eris becomes a Sword King, the same rank as Ghislaine, and she has come pretty far here. But really curious where the series is going to go next, and like keep saying, I'm worried when is the other shoe going to drop and when the storm comes here, because we're in the calm part. But honestly, this was a great episode here, having this closure and communication with Rudy and helping him realize quite a lot of things. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about this episode. As always, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, helps me quite a lot, and you guys get the latest video on the series that I follow. So keep enjoying Mushoku Tensei. I'm gonna see you on the next one. Bye.